I didn't even tell you what we're here for yet.
Oh, man.
We're going to go off topic for a minute. So, it's Friday night.
We have a thing now that we do. So, to start with...
First off, don't judge.
Don't judge. My wife got me hooked on this show called How to Get Away with Murder. See, what happened was, I started watching it at work when season 2 started, and then she got mad at me because I was watching episodes without her, so she's fallen off. So now here I am, fast forward, and I'm stuck watching these shows. Except for this guy and his wife, they love it too. So I got the Hulus. So now what we've started doing on Fridays is getting together and watching the night before's episode so we can stay caught up. And man, it is 10:45 and we just finished this week's episode.
Dude. I can't even...
Like, I want to say names, but in case you're like not caught up, I'm not going to say names. This one person is dead, and then this other person...
We don't know if they're... I mean, yeah, I guess they are dead, yeah.
Right, they were covered up.
Yeah.
Then this other person is in the hospital with a certain condition while they're in the hospital. And it's like, what? And then it's like, this other person is like over here, but then he or she is doing this over here, and it's like, what are you even doing?
And like...
What are you even doing?
There's like almost 1,400 subscribers to the channel. Each podcast averages about 700 views,
right,
give or take.
Give or take.
Surely someone has got to be keeping up with this.
In the comments section below, nothing softball related. We need to figure out the best theory as far as who is behind this and why.
I'm not going to spoil anything until I see someone chime in. Then I know that everybody's caught up.
Right. And then what'll happen at that point is I'm going to make me a YouTube account. That way I can comment on things. And then I'm going to get in on this too, man. And then we're just going to have a big old long reply.
Man, I don't even know.
I don't even know where to go.
But I guess we should probably get on the topic of softball since that's what everyone stopped in for.
Hi, welcome to the BP Hero Podcast number 9, brought to you by Evil Sports.
Best darn tootin' softball period.
What he said.
Yeah.
It has been 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
Something like that.
Since we last did a podcast. So, I mean, softball's kind of starting to wind down for the year.
Softball's starting to wind down, and I'm going to lie. I suck as a YouTube producer.
Right.
Because there's been like, here, you know what? I'm going to pull it up. I think there's been like 8 videos that I've posted since the last podcast. Like, I guess I just didn't realize that.
When we were brainstorming to get things ready for tonight, we always try and like, here, let me give you some behind the scenes. When we get ready to do one of these podcasts, typically we don't try and fly by the seat of our pants. We have a pretty good idea for what we want to accomplish and what we want to discuss. So we were looking at things to discuss to kick off this introduction, and he quickly realized that not much has been going on.
7. I've uploaded 7 videos since the last podcast.
That's getting ready to change, though.
7. I can't even count. 5.
So
I scrolled too far.
There are 3 random league games. There is 1 bat review, the Boomba POW MIA. Then we'll get to the last video that's posted later on here. Tonight's the last night for your t-shirt order, so by the time this gets posted, that's already done and over with.
Probably a nice guy. Let it run till Monday.
Okay. So by the time this gets up, maybe you'll still be able to get a chance to get a t-shirt.
Well, this is Friday. It's Friday night right now, 10:50. I plan on having this up by noon tomorrow.
Man.
So I'm probably going to knock out the editing side of this and rock out with it.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got another t-shirt order going. Didn't have as many as we did last time. I was kind of surprised by that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not bent out of shape about it. But either way, then he said we had the POW MIA, the league games. What is coming now? I've been saying that this bat has been coming for I don't know how long now, but I finally got some video in with the ASA Flex. This is stuff that I have video on that just needs to be edited. It's not, when am I going to come across it? Just got to get the stars lined. This is stuff that's coming. I took video on the ASA Flex today and a little bit yesterday. I got a U-Trip DC41 coming. I probably should have did that a lot sooner than I did. I got an update on the new 2-piece Psycho, the green one. Whoa. And I also have the Jeff Hall Light. Pretty interesting bat.
When he got the bat and I picked it up, it looks funky. But it looks funky because of the person that gave him the bat taped up the handle, but they only went like
Just far enough, yeah.
far enough to just get a hand over it. So I mean, the whole thing looks like nothing but like handle. Like,
Yeah, it's I don't know. That was an interesting bat. I'm not going to elaborate too much because I don't want to spoil the review.
okay.
But as far as all that stuff goes, that's really all I got coming right now. Got a few people sending me bats, and nothing set in stone yet. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear until then. I'm going to work on getting some more content going. We're going to get into that right now. Home runs for heroes 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
Man,
Wow. What a perplexing 2 days worth of softball.
dude, that's not a lie.
So day one was the men's, which ended up with 40.
No, 32.
No. Between the rec and competitive.
Oh. How many
44?
How many competitive teams were there? 8?
12? Is that right?
I'm not sure.
We originally started with 32 in the
I'm
rec.
not cool enough to
and
play
then,
competitive.
well, neither am I.
No.
Sandbag.
Heh.
Started off with 32 rec teams, supposed to be.
Right.
And then I was pretty sure it was 12 competitive. So 44. It's over 40 is what they
Either
started with
way.
to run a full men's tournament in one day
On 6 fields.
on 6 fields. So you can imagine whatever you want with that scenario.
Because pool play at that. It wasn't double elimination. Everyone got 2 games and then elimination games too.
Right. BP Hero had a team.
Hey, see what we did. This young man, his father was kind enough to sponsor our team for this year.
Thanks, Dad.
Randolph Farms / Evil Sports.
Thanks, Bobby Bugs.
Bobby Bugs got us hooked up with a dozen Evils, 2 hit for the day, and boy, we did some damage with him.
Oh, boy. Hey, in case you guys didn't know it, those balls really fly.
Our buddy Donkey sent a few into orbit that day. That dude was locked.
Oh,
in.
my gosh. I never sent to the group, but I don't think I did. I wanted to see the book from that day.
Greg, are you watching this because you have the book?
Greg, send out the stats for that weekend. Not because I really want to see how I batted, but I think Donkey probably only made like 3 outs for the day.
He was just ridiculous.
Oh my god, he was locked in.
He was like diving for balls and he even got a couple doubles in there, man.
How tall is he? 6'3"?
Tall enough to be a donkey.
6'4"?
I give him 6'3", 6'4".
Locking down third base all day.
No, it was
like
hilarious.
it was his job.
I loved it. I like Donkey. And I was really glad that he finally got a chance to come play with us.
Hey, what's
you
up?
guys don't know what you're missing out on.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Matt. Hey, this is Donkey. No, it's Mike. This is Mike.
For the longest time, does anybody out there ever have? There's the dog. Does anybody out there ever have that friend that has a nickname, and you didn't even know the dude's real name for the
Right.
longest time? So I'm talking to this guy. I mean, I originally met him. His name was Donkey, and I never heard him call anything else. So I was talking to him at League one night. And he's like, "Oh yeah, man." He's like, "Well, I'll shoot you a message on Facebook." I was like, "Yeah, man. I'll have to add you on Facebook when I get home." He's like, "Oh, we're already friends on Facebook." I was like, "We are." So I was like, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot all about that."
Yeah.
And
My bad.
he walked off and turned around and looked at Kevin and I said, "What's his name?"
who is this guy?
So we got all that figured out.
Yeah. So that was an interesting day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was locked in, but things went good at times, and then didn't go so good at times.
We beat ourselves, I'll say that.
Yeah. So for the day, we ended up 4-1. We faced a team in pool play, and then turned around and faced them again in bracket play, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Both good games.
Yeah.
From just a game standpoint. In the first game, accidentally tagged the pitcher.
Whoops.
That didn't go over well at that point.
No, but softball in a nutshell. I'm going to do a vlog, kind of taking you through my weekend with all that stuff.
He did one last year. Check that out.
Yeah, I did one last year. It was kind of bits and pieces. This one's going to be a long one. It's probably going to end up being, honestly, about a 45, 50-minute video. But that last one was probably combined 45 or 50 minutes. Not to mention, if someone will sit down and watch a league game,
Right.
then, they shouldn't have a problem sitting down and watching that either. I kind of covered the feelings on Gabe hitting the pitcher. It's not like he aimed to do it.
No.
And, I had a few hit back at me. That's fine. I mean, you got to protect your pitcher. We're not going to beat the dead horse of middle.
No.
Like it seems like we do on this podcast sometimes. But anyway, back to what we were originally saying. We had the Randolph Farms Eagle Sports team, and then Andrea, the lady running the tournament, needed one more team to even the pools out, and it was a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, what the heck? Let's see what can happen. I posted in a couple groups, hey, this place is looking for a team, or this tournament's looking for a team. I knew a few guys were looking to play. Within a matter of 12 hours, we had a team entering the tournament.
Mm-hmm. And they actually didn't do too bad.
No.
They ended up going 0-3, but they still didn't perform badly.
No.
To the point where it was like, oh, man, you shouldn't have entered that team in.
No, they had a couple close games, and they even played Scotch Crane, who knocked us out of the tournament and finished tied for third.
Mm-hmm.
They gave them a pretty good game until the end. Scotch Crane had a big inning like they did against us.
They also faced the Stingrays, the eventual winners.
Yeah.
So, they didn't get a good draw. I'll say that. But they played
still
fine.
they still had a good day. Yeah. Just finish out the day with some Panda. Gabe put this at the bottom because he just really wanted to
Greg, Panda Express was a terrible idea, man. That was
I'll take a pingle.
like a pingle. It was an interesting experience. I'd never been there before, but man, I really feel like we would have been better off shutting down SiS
We were in between CC's Pizza
and Panda Express.
and Panda Express. I'd never been to Panda Express, and
I'm not knocking you. If you like Panda Express, go for it. It's a great idea for a Chinese place. But Greg, eats, sleeps, and breathes Panda Express. You ought to pop up that photo of him that Roach took.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's in the bamboo.
Scout, quit. Anybody want a dog?
About punch your dog right in the butt. Yeah, so anyways, I feel like Panda Express is ultimately what led to our demise on Saturday.
I don't know. We played a couple good games when we got back.
We did. What hurt us the most is the fourth game. We didn't score another handful of runs in that one after the fifth inning, and then we put together a few in the first few innings of the very last game, and then just went cold after that.
Yeah, it was.
We had been hot to a good point in the day, and then when the temperature started to go down, our bats cooled off with it. And
right.
It just went ugly at that point because we ended up getting 10 run, didn't we? That last game.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the Timeless Wonder, also known as Ollie, walked off on us.
Man.
But and then there was
for days, man.
Right, and then there was Sunday. I played co-ed too with my friend Brian.
I coached co-ed.
Dave coached a mean third base.
Man. I'll have you know that the way that Cosmo is set up, or Rainbow, you have to walk down a pretty steep hill. No shame in my game. I waddled down that thing the whole day because that was a tough turnaround. Because by the time our game got over on Saturday, that was 11 o'clock. By the time we drove home, get in bed by midnight.
Either way, continue.
But then had to turn around and come back the next day pretty early. I met him here at his house so we could go, to get back. It wasn't enough turnaround for this body of mine because I was hurting when it came to coaching.
Well, we made a day of it though.
Boy, did we.
Started in pool play 0-2, and I was kind of thinking I've played 4 or 5 tournaments with this team. Won or finished second place in I think every tournament. So, I kind of knew we were setting ourselves up for a pretty good day. And we just cracked the bed, went 0-2, and I thought to myself, man, this is going to be a quick day. No
Honestly, I was wondering why I even showed up to coach. I was regretting all of my decisions at that point.
Yeah, it was looking pretty rough, but we ended up putting together, 4 wins? Yeah. Ended up it's at 15:37.
Okay.
We got time. Dealing with camera stuff. We ended up running off 4 wins in bracket play. Got all the way to the championship. Got all the way to the championship. Got up 12-2 after 2 innings.
After 2 innings. then turned around and got up 16-9 going in the top of the fourth. So we were the home team.
Was it the top of the fourth or the fifth? It was the top of the fifth. All we had to do was hold them.
Hold them and then score 3, and we were done. We could have walked out of there, would have been just fine, taking that first place trophy photo. And then it started to fall apart. I'm not going to blame any individuals.
No.
As a collective team, the wheels just started to come off. I think the toll of playing that many games for the day one.
And all of the guys had already played yesterday, besides Chris.
Yeah.
All the guys had already played, 5 or 6 games the day before.
And I think it just eventually took its toll on us because just like the night before when our bats got cold, same thing Sunday night.
The bats got cold, had a few blunders.
What did us in that game is when Cody hit the grand slam for them to take the lead.
He hit a 3-run home run in the fourth. No, it was the fifth. He hit the 3-run home run in the fifth, and then turns around in the top of the sixth, top of the seventh, and hits a grand slam.
Put him up 17-16,
18
to 17.
18-16. We scored 1 run.
Was the final 18-17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dane. So it was.
So it's 18-16 going into the bottom of the 7th at that point. And so then we have a guy lead off the inning with a double. Then the girl flies out. The next guy hit a single. So now we have guys on first and second. The next girl flies out. And then our third guy, an ideal scenario.
Third guy at the inning, not the third batter. Anyway.
Right. Our third guy up in that inning flew out to the one person that we couldn't have him fly out to end the game.
Yeah, and I mean, he was beating himself up about that. The guy had played a ridiculous tournament up to that point.
Had it not been for the home run that he hits in the game against Hans and them, to keep us in that one, we would have been home way earlier than that.
Well, we put up a 10 spot in that first inning of that game.
Yeah.
And he had a big home run there, too. Just kind of a big momentum surge there, too. He was beating himself up about it. He's played a lot of softball. I mean, he's been playing as long as I can remember. But as far as stuff like that size of a tournament, I think the pressure just kind of got to him. It was 2 outs. He's left-handed, faster than all get out. 2 outs left-handed, runners on first and second. I mean, just seriously blow it through the right side. Run to first base. Runner from second had good speed. He was going to score, tie the game.
Right, sorry. I didn't set the scene up well on that. It was 18-17, and then we had runners on first and second. So figure it out. The game footage will be up.
I mean, the guy had been locked in all day. I'm not blaming him for the swings that he took. I mean, he was trying to end it right there. We're the home team. He was going to try and end it, which, like I said.
Ended if not make it close.
I mean, either way, still had a good day. It was for a good cause.
So the tournament gave a check, like a check presentation, which is up on the channel, and it was for the funds they raised the previous year, because they obviously don't know how much money they're going to raise for the weekend as of when they're giving the check away.
Right.
But they still turned over a check for $13,000 to the Honor Flight.
Right, which was what they made last year. I think they probably made more this year.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised with the number of teams, merchandise, everything, if they don't get close to 20.
I think you're right.
And that's huge. Again, if you don't know anything about the Honor Flight, I think they've got a website.
Yeah, softballforvets.com.
Softball for Vets is the website.
I'll put it down in the description box if you want to go check it out.
Yeah, super cool. The local news station there in Columbia, KOMU 8, they did a small piece on it too as part of Chris Gervino's sports talk thing. He does a 30-minute sports thing on Sunday nights. But they did a small blip about it there too and interviewed one of the vets. This guy was probably in his 80s, and he ran the bases.
I wish I would have got that on camera.
Oh man, that was wild. The crowd erupted for him. It was pretty cool. So kudos to them for raising that much money. Another great year of it.
Yes.
You've got the vlog coming up to outline a personal side of it rather than just the game footage.
Which will also be coming
Right.
because I don't know how to upload anything else apparently.
Apparently not.
But
So, all in all, that was a good softball tournament 2 weeks ago.
we're just going to get right into things here.
There's not a good segue.
No.
The softball world exploded tonight.
Oh, dude.
Today, rather. What happened with Resmondo and Easton ultimately making like
A super team?
like the equivalent of like the Heat when LeBron went there, or like KD this last year going to Golden State.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Honestly, so I was telling my dad about it, and like my dad doesn't follow like the professional softball circuit. Like he knows that there's a guy from Columbia that plays, and that's all that he really cares about. But I gave him the example, and I really feel like this is the best way to look at it. If you look at Resmondo as a whole, and their 10 championships, I really consider them to be like the Yankees of slow pitch softball. Okay. So you've got this team, this super team already, that dominates, wins all of these tournaments, has 10 majors to their name. And then you've got Smash It Sports, what used to be the old Laser Vision team. I almost consider them like the Cardinals. They sprinkle in a few championships here and there, but they're always super consistent.
Right.
So basically what you've taken is the Yankees and taken all the good young players from that team and put them on the Cardinals to form like this powerhouse, like mind-blowing thing. Like
I remember I went and got a bite to eat today. I got done at the gym, came and got a bite to eat. I was getting ready to sit down and eat it before I went and hit with Dalton today. And like that came up on my phone, I just immediately dropped everything. Went over and put a post on Facebook on the BP Hero page.
he's blowing up my phone at work. like when I'm at my desk, like I normally turn my phone face down, that way I don't see anything. That's it. And like when I turned it over, he had texted me twice, which he never does. And then we have a Facebook Messenger group, and then our two families have a Facebook Messenger group, and he's blowing me up. Dave, talk to me, Dave. And so I finally messaged him, and he sends me the link for it. And I got to reading it. Well, then, like, everything decided to blow up at work. So, like, I was trying to, like, I had, like, 3 people trying to talk to me. Like, I had emails coming in, and I'm trying to, like, look through my phone. Oh, my gosh. Like, where do you even start to try and make heads or tails of it? I mean, I made a list of who's in and who's out with this new team. But, like, I don't even know if that does it justice. Because there's still so many questions. So, you've got arguably one of the best hitters for Resmondo in the past few years in Howie Krause.
Yeah.
As one of the coaches, with Smash It Sports and arguably one of the best home run hitters ever in Brett Helmer. As the coaches for this super team, with Wegman, Wolf, Umshad, Bazet, Baker, Pearson, Clark, Kirby, Reckert, and Hansen, all being from the previous Smash It Sports team.
This last year,
this 2016 year. And then they're adding Bubba Mack, Greg Cannell, Dirty Sanchez, and BJ Falk from Resmondo. Now, my previous statement with adding the young talent doesn't really apply to BJ Falk, but for some reason that dude just still figures out a way to hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's BJ Falk.
Right. So, you've taken like all of this Smash It Sports team and added 4 Resmondo guys. So then, who Smash It's losing in this deal is Ryan Parfit, even though it doesn't really count. He was on the roster, so I just threw his name. He
was on the roster. He had some family stuff come up. Decided to step away from the game, which
kudos.
Yeah, he went ahead and left himself on the roster just to kind of prove to Helmer and the guys, like, look, I'm not leaving to go to a different team. I'm stepping away. I'm done. You can leave me on your roster, just to prove the point that I'm not just going to go jump on another team. So
he's there. Jason Williams, Westy Gill,
Guile, whatever,
KF30, and then Billy Messina. And I don't know if he's planning on retiring. I'm not in the know, obviously.
Right.
So somebody can figure that out. So they're losing that collective group. But then you look at everybody that's left from the Resmondo team. Andrew Collins, Chris Walker, Andy Purcell, Izzy, Nick Santana, Luis Reyna,
Jimmy Salas,
Lee Payne, who they just added for this year, Don Dinas third. 9 guys that are still left looking for jobs. Now, him and I already had this discussion, and we're going to hash it out here in just a second. But that's 9 very good ball players that don't have a team now because of this new like offensive super house.
Juggernaut.
That just got created.
I have heard, I shouldn't say heard, I've been reading. I did a little reading on the Old Scout. From what I can tell, some of the leftovers, I say leftovers like they're crap players.
Like they're scrubs, yeah.
The guys that were left from last year's Resmondo squad, I'm pretty sure that I read that some of them are going to end up merging with the Scene.
And that's a scary thought because the Scene was pretty good this year.
Were they third or fourth in points going into the World Series?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty stinking good. And the Scene's got a lot of young talent on it.
Yes, they do.
But then, I mean, like I just looked through this list and it's like, so then Andy Purcell's older. Does he look to retire maybe? Same with Don Dianatis III. Like
the roster, here, let me see if I can find that. The roster that I saw actually had Purcell on it as their pitcher. Let's see if I can find that. I took a screenshot of that earlier. Let's see if I can know how to operate this iPhone well enough to find it.
Because the media link that they provided, and I say media link like this is some like ESPN breaking news thing, but the posted thing that Resmondo Sports put out had Travis Clark and Dirty Sanchez as the two pitchers, with Falk and Kirby being the catchers / EHs.
Yeah, so what was posted here...
Where is this from?
This is from the Old Scout.
Okay.
This is kind of a discussion that they were having. Purcell, Branch, Salas, Lasky, Rainier, I never can say that guy's name right. Sente, whatever it is. Sorry if you're watching this by some chance. Then Junior going to third. Not sure about that one. And then Brandon Dillon, Nick Santana, Lee Payne, and Canopy as an EH. That's kind of the speculation of what the Scene's going to be. Obviously, you don't know anything until it's announced.
Where in the world does it...
What?
I always botch his name. The other guy with the softball channel, Dynamic Softball. Wasn't he on the Scene?
You know what? I just realized that, yeah.
Davis is his first name, right?
Bellardello?
Hi.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know where he goes because he's fairly young and he's fairly good at it.
Yeah, I mean, he was a staple for them last year as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, and he's played with most of those guys when it comes to like off-season stuff. If you've ever seen his channel, like,
Dynamic Softball, go over and check it out.
He posts like a bunch of BP stuff, but then some of the open tournaments that he played early on in the year, like Andy Purcell was playing third base and he was playing in these tournaments with him. Who else did I remember? I think Don Dianatis was there playing too. So like
Rainey was there, Harvey was there.
He knows these guys well enough, obviously, to fit in. So that's interesting.
Very. But like I said, nothing's official until it's released. I use Softball Center and the Old Scout, watching a fly walk across the table.
I was thinking about if I wanted Mr. Miyagi it or not.
SoftballCenter.com is where I find all like my stuff like that. It's a reliable source, so as long as you know who's posting. It's Softball Center is run by DW, and then the Old
guy's
Scout.
DW. Look for that name.
Yeah, and then on the Old Scout, anything that DW posts or at least confirms, you can take that to the bank.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I was going to talk about something that was kind of big that I read on there. Harvey is not going to be back with Backman.
That seems very interesting. Again, you and I talked about this beforehand. The guy's so big and he's got such a strong bat. Like, why would you not want to have him on the team?
Hey, that's their team, not mine.
I wonder if he'd be interested in playing in the doubleheader league with us.
Yeah, we probably get that to happen.
Yeah, see if I can't give him a call. Hey, Ryan, I don't know. You're going to have to figure out your transportation fees,
right,
man. But if you want to come down here and hit dingers.
But supposedly, he is going to play with, he's already committed to Dan Smith.
So they're bringing the Dan Smith team
Bringing
back.
the Dan Smith team back. That is basically going to be the combat guys. Not all of them. I think it's just the core group of combat guys are going to go over and play with Dan Smith. They've made a few pickups. Obviously, Harvey is one of them.
Can we talk about the other name you told me? The guy that's also big like Ryan Harvey, that hits the ball really far, who has his own bat line with a previously aforementioned combat. His name rhymes with Friss Freinert.
Oh, Chris Griner, yeah. He's playing with him too. He made a post on Facebook.
But what's he going to swing next year?
For ASA, he's going to swing Monster.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, very. For ASA, he's swinging Monster. Obviously, they don't make a U-trip bat. So...
They don't make a U-trip bat?
Nope.
Really?
Really.
That shows you how much I pay attention.
Yeah. So, who knows what he'll end up doing there. I would say whatever the Dan Smith team is going to be. I believe they're going to be Easton. Let me double check that real quick because I just had that pulled up.
So then...
Yes, Dan Smith will be Easton.
In a roundabout way, so as far as like what bats they're going to swing, the question was raised to Jesse, what will these new Worth guys going over to Smash It swing? But if you think about it, Bubba Mack had his own bat.
He had his own bat.
With Worth.
He's had his own bat in years past. He didn't have anything come out this year,
Right.
but that's not to say that they wouldn't, make him a bat again.
If you look at this next year's lineup, Greg Cannell's already got a bat.
Right.
I don't know what Sanchez will swing.
Sanchez was a KL rep with Mikan last year anyway.
Okay, so
he was swinging Mikan, so he'd probably, if I had to speculate, obviously you don't know until you see it.
So then that's whatever. But then BJ Falk's already got his Worth bat for next year.
Right.
So I don't really see them swinging anything else. Tell the people what you were thinking.
One thing that I found really peculiar was the fact that
At Worlds,
Worth drops this new line, which, obviously these guys all knew already that were part of this. There was no Resmondo legit this year. And I thought that was kind of odd that they called it the Andy Purcell, Don D. Donatus legit, whatever.
Mm-hmm. They did that 2 years ago for the legit.
Oh.
I don't think it was an actual like Resmondo legit. I want
to. No, the blue one was. It was Resmondo.
Was it? I really feel like there was like an Andy Purcell / Don Donatus.
Oh, that was one of the old 454s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I found that peculiar. Didn't think much of it, whatever. But it makes sense now. But here's something to wrap your mind around. A Resmondo Easton?
What?
Makes you wonder. We'll see what happens. ResmondoSports.com is, of course, it's about that time of year.
Right.
So it may just be coincidence or could very well be. ResmondoSports.com is blowing out their Micans and their Eastons, $150 a pop for whatever's left. So skiddy on over there and gather up what's left if you're in the market for something. They don't have any Freak 30s. They don't have any Folks. Their Freak Blacks are just in a few weights. And they only have the Inloaded Freak Black and the Balanced ASA Freak Black. But who knows what'll be there by the time you see this and make it over there. That's just what's currently left on the site right now.
Hashtag this is not an ad. Hashtag we're not sponsored. Hashtag that would be dope if we were.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. So then they're blowing out bats. Meanwhile, Combat's officially done.
Yeah, I had the interview with Don Cooper here about a month ago. Been probably a little over a month now. Let me look at that and see. It's going to drive me nuts. September 8th. So it's been a little over a month. He was saying that it was still up in the air as far as what was going to happen with Combat. As far as, when everything was finalized. There was kind of talks of just having maybe just a Maxim line. Something happened somewhere and Combat is officially done. They are no more. The brand ceases to exist after what's sold is sold. PhD Sports bought their apparel, their bags, their pants, their batting gloves, and non-bat inventory. JustBats.com bought all the baseball bats. Smash It Sports bought all the slow pitch bats. There are deals to be had there, people.
Don't go into details.
Gabe's hoping that...
Don't tell the people.
Okay, anyway, you can go look for yourself.
There are deals, but don't go searching too hard because I don't want you to buy up all the bats that I'm getting ready to buy.
And there is the question, what does this mean for Combats? When they're gone, obviously. There's that fly. Can you guys see the fly? See you. When they're gone, obviously. And I saw a couple posts on Facebook of people returning a Combat and already getting Eastons back. Some guy returned a Combatant and got a Wegman. somebody did tag Don Cooper in the post and was like, hey, what's going on with this? And Don Cooper did go on to say that there is one last round of combats headed for the warehouse. So I would assume once they're gone, you're going to get a 15 Easton left a 16 Easton left because they're still trying to get rid of the 15s.
Right.
So obviously they're sitting on 16s too. So that'll be interesting to see, what happens there. For the people that are like, oh, don't buy a combat, they went out of business. I mean, just because they went out of business doesn't mean that they didn't make a good bat.
Made a great bat.
Now, the naysayers are going to say, oh, if it was a great bat, they would have stayed in business.
Okay.
Fine, whatever. Believe what you want. All I'm here to tell you is the combats that I've swung have been good.
Very good.
Cash in on an $80, $90 bat right now.
Which is what Smash It Sports seems to be selling them for.
They've even got a few for $70. And I mean, you go buy one, swing the tar out of it.
For that price, why wouldn't you?
Right.
If you know it's a good bat, example, go check the bat reviews maybe that this guy does, and you can get a good idea for which ones are the good ones. Why wouldn't you pick up a bat for that cheap so that you've got something to beat on this winter so you're not using your gamers?
I don't know about beating on this winter with a combat, but I get what you're saying.
I'm giving an example.
But yeah, I mean, they're just because they went out of business doesn't mean that their bats don't perform. I'm here to tell you they do. I personally don't have a need for a bat, or I'd probably buy up a couple myself.
I'm working on that.
And Dave is working on making some moves. I'm just going to say that. What moves are you going to make, Dave?
I have an iPhone 6 Plus that's currently for sale.
No, you don't.
If anybody wants it, because I got to clear out some cash so that I can pick up a couple of these combats at this ridiculously low price.
You're such a liar. You are a liar.
I'm not a liar. I don't need technology that bad. Hashtag do you even internet, bro? I can live without having this fancy piece of equipment here.
No, you can't.
I can do it with a flip phone. And I'm going to do it. Because guess what? This baby is going
what are you gonna do?
to the sales.
No, it's not. I mean, what are you going to do with your 8-bit ringtones?
I'm going to be the coolest guy this side of the Mississippi. Yeah, it is Dave. I will blow up some T9 texting, dog.
No, I just don't think so.
Whatever. Haters, man. Haters gonna hate.
Let's see. Aww. Trying to get this a little bit alive.
Did you wanna include this on the podcast?
What do you mean?
Or just edit it out? Like, I didn't know if you wanted to throw the live in with this, because last time we did that, it didn't turn out so well.
Oh, well, I can chop it up again.
That's why I snapped my fingers. So
yeah, well, see, that's why I brought this in early. I did want to cover this combat thing a little more.
Okay.
Just while people are getting all checked in here. Oh, God, so Thea's here.
What?
Oh, long story.
Okay. Right on. Hey, man. Will Webb.
Hey, Will. What's up, man? There's Augie. Look at you. Anyway, we're getting distracted down here. But I don't know. I mean, just because combat went under. I mean, dude, the grinder line has always been good. The last couple years, the Derby boys have been good. They had a little spot there. Was it the 14, I believe? Was not very good. But, I mean, that's 2014. You've had the 15s and the 16s. You got the B-Hose. You got the Flip Washington. You got the Rogos. Buy them. I mean, why not? Sophia, no. No, we don't use potty mouth on here. Are you ever going to review Monster Bats? No. I just...
Thanks for asking, though. That's real nice of you.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude when I answer that question. Not a fan of the hype.
Nope.
Not a fan of Carl.
They don't feel good. The one that I swung, I didn't like it.
I don't know. Not gonna beat that dead horse. Thoughts on the ASA Flex? Better than what I thought it was yesterday. I took some swings with it yesterday, and I don't know. You know, I could be the guy that makes 20 excuses why it popped out if I wanted to. Didn't feel good yesterday. Took some T-work with it today, and felt pretty good. definitely a right step in the direction for Easton. The 26 still swings so light, though. So I was not a fan of that.
To make sure that everybody knows,
you guys ever come to Vegas for a tournament? I mean, I'm not ruling it out.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Why?
I wouldn't have this many monies coming back.
Well, that's beyond the point. Go to Vegas. Never said what you do in Vegas. You said you go to Vegas.
Bet black. Man,
All on black.
All on black.
Kind of like on How to Get Away with Murder. We should took the money and spend it. Anyway, let's see. Falling behind here.
Does Vegas have a Big League Dreams? I want to say that they do.
Yes, they do.
Isn't that where they do the Sin City Classic?
Yeah, I'd say they do the Sin City Classic.
Yeah, that'd be a dope time to go.
Can you give a quick lowdown on what you guys are about? It's all started doing some bat reviews and stuff with, softball fans.
Brent.
Man, he's just going for it. Oh, DNA. Anyway, it all started with doing some bat reviews. Some people kind of took interest in, the way I was doing them. From there, started posting a little bit of game footage. Mm-hmm. That caught on as well. We just kind of got a wild hair one night. If you ever go back and watch the first podcast, you'll see. I mean, that was totally like, it was what, 2 a.m?
Yeah.
We're like, hey, let's have a podcast.
I'd been harping on him for a while, like, hey, you could do this, and like people would like follow it. And he was like, okay. And then when we finally did it, it was like, oh man.
Yeah,
like,
people have just been eating it up.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, and we like doing it.
Not only that, it gives us an excuse to hang out and talk more. So.
Right. See, how do you feel about the Anarchy Bat? Their future in the softball world? They have definitely taken a big step in the right direction. I'll sit right here and say that. They're going to be releasing early 2017. I'm going to put one in my bag. I'm not starting any hype. I'm not saying that, Anarchy's... Excuse me. I'm not saying that Anarchy's, going to give me bats or I'm going to be some kind of factory hitter or some kind of...
Oh, dog, you're going to be a factory hitter?
No. But I would put one of their bats in my bag as long as it's reasonably priced, which from what I heard they will be. But, I plan on putting one in my bag as long as the price is right. I'll tell you that much. Let's see, what bat are you looking forward to in 2017?
I think you just answered it.
The Anarchy, for sure. And I'm interested to see if anybody watched the Major World Series. Brett Helmer was swinging a one-piece flex. So I'll be interested to see what that's about. I'm any rumor to the Combat 2017 line release. I've been hearing for a month and a half that they are releasing them, but they have not seen anything. Wish I had an answer for you on that one. Which we did cover in the podcast. They've closed doors, sold everything out. So I don't know if there's going to be a 2017 release or if they're going to use those for returns. Honestly, can't give you an answer there. I'll try and do some research and I'll comment on that if I can find something out. Does Combat the Duke have a performance PED in it? Basically, that's a performance enhancing disc. Okay. Let's see. I can't find any info on that bat, and I saw you guys have a video on it. Any other info on the Duke would be great. The Duke was definitely one of my favorite dual stamps last year.
Alonzo still got one.
He never swings it though. I don't know why.
It's a good bat.
But anyway, probably one of my favorite dual stamps from last year. Any ASA Combat will have that disc in it. Don't be shy though. It's going to need some BP to break in. And they have seemed to fix their disc issue. The first year they had the disc, they had some issues with the disc holding up, not breaking. But they fixed that. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'm not even sure that I've heard of any Dukes, with a disc that breaks.
Yeah.
So, as far as that goes, swing away, great bats. If you're looking for a dual stamp on a budget, I would definitely recommend one. When are you guys coming to Kansas City to play in a tournament?
We did last year.
Last year, yes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of people from Kansas City.
Most of the people you know are from St. Louis.
Right. Most of the people that I know from St. Louis. I don't know a whole lot of people from Kansas City. So getting over that way, I would have to take my own team, and it's hard to find guys to want to travel over there. So, unless they get an asker that we can just finally get everything together, all our ducks in a row, Not too sure I'll be making it to Kansas City, but
Wouldn't
not
mind
going to
knowing more people in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rule anything out.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody asked and I didn't have anything going on, I would definitely go.
Yeah.
Best ASA bat of all time for 52s.
They don't make one.
52s don't need special bats. I will say that, but as far as one of the best ASA bats of all time, Orange Derby Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. Mike says, Derby Boys over OG Synergy Extended as all-time favorite bat. Never really was a big Easton fan, but I'm telling you right now, the OG Extended is obviously a good bat. Never said it wasn't. But swing a Derby Boys with 1,000 swings on it and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Man, these people
For just about any ball you could throw at
starting
it.
to come in hot.
Yeah,
now.
here we go. Now we're rolling.
What bat was the biggest disappointment? Oh, man, that's easy. The DeMarini Sunday Swagger. I got duped so hard into buying that
Oh, they're
thing.
coming in at the top. Okay, sorry, continue.
I got duped so hard into buying that thing. Bought it, and it was not good. Now, I've heard other people love that bat, beat the tar out of it, whatever. Man, it was not what I was looking for in any stretch.
You were so mad.
Oh,
you were
so mad. Like, I was, like, desperately looking for a bat.
Oh.
And I picked that thing up. Oh, it was total regret.
Yeah, that was awesome. You were so excited about that. You were such a letdown.
All the hurt, man. I felt it all.
Favorite sanction to play in and why? Probably have to be U-Trip. Don't play a whole lot of it around here, but I do like it. So it helps you mix up your pitching a little bit. I think I might have answered that before, but I'll answer it again.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that you can at least try and throw someone off a little bit with some fakes and that kind of thing instead of just tossing a cookie in there.
It's got a better pace, too.
Yeah.
Like the game moves quicker.
Right. In your all's opinion, what's the hottest U-Trip bat out of the wrapper? A Mike and Irworth. Hands down.
That was easy.
Yeah. Any good finds that played against sports tonight? I found an SCN 5 and an SCN 7. Not real good with my OG Eastons for $65 a piece. 2 28s. And they were in pretty good shape. They had a little bit of a click to them, but there's really nothing to worry about with those. I honestly thought about offering $100 for the pair, but ended up not doing it. Any info on the 2017 ASA DC-41? I wanted to pick up this year's, but wanted to wait for 2017.
They don't have one for next year.
I believe it would be the Patriot.
Right, it's the Patriot. Yeah.
I am anxious to get some swings in with that. Brent is trying to get his hands on one if he can sell his overpriced DNA that somebody will end up buying. Sorry, Brent. You jacked my thread, so I took it back. He's going to try and get his hands on one, so hopefully he gets that done here pretty soon. T-shirts. The order is finalized tonight, Spencer. Going to place that Monday. Be a couple weeks and I'll have your shirt, sweetie pie. 16 Juggy or USA Flipper. Poof. I'm not a fan of the Juggies. I don't like flexi handles. But man, that barrel feels so good. I like a soft barrel with a little bit of feedback. I'm talking just a touch. And the Juggy definitely nails it there. Just because of that, I would probably go with the Juggy. Why is everyone trying to get rid of their Eastons? Better yet, not trading them. Or trading for them. I mean, Easton's just kind of like the overshadowed bat right now, just because of the Micans and the Worths. They're so hot early on. Instant gratification is a terrible thing in the softball world right now. Nobody wants to break a bat in, and that's usually what you end up with is, $90 Eastons by the end of the season. One piece or two piece. Referring to one piece, two piece bat, subjective. I mean, as far as feedback goes, I prefer a two piece just because it's less feedback. I don't like a stiff feel from a bat.
I always said to myself I was never going to swing another two piece after that DeMarini Sunday Swagger. And then, that's all that I have right now.
Yeah. I mean, but as far as performance goes, it's irrelevant.
Half a dozen in one hand, 6 in the other.
Right.
Who's that, Mitch Brown?
2016 Combat PTE for $150 near and wrapper. Worth
No.
it? No, it's not worth it because you can get them for $89 at Smash It Sports.
but you didn't hear us say that, and I don't want you to buy one in 27.5 because I may be buying one, and I need all of them that I can get.
What's the word on the Evil Seamless balls? For those that don't know or don't hit with me, they probably haven't seen them. I did make a post here month and a half ago. Evil sent me a couple of prototype one-piece balls, just like the Tattoo NX3s.
What were they? 44 375.
I doubt they make production. Me personally, I don't feel like those balls are good for the game. Not because of how they play, not because of how they hit. I shouldn't say not good for the game, not good for the manufacturer. Let me retract that. Not good for the manufacturer because, I mean, when a cover tears on a ball, what do? You throw it away. When a ball gets waterlogged, what do? You throw it away. When a cover gets beat up, not even, hits a fence and tears, when a cover gets beat up, you throw the ball away. They don't have covers, they can't get torn up. They don't get waterlogged because there's nothing to hold water.
Right.
And, if they can't get cut, they don't get beat up, they don't get, hit off an end cap and cut, you don't need another ball, you're selling less product. I understand that they're all the rave right now. I will say, they do sound better than just about anything on the market. I do not like how they fly. I did a lot of catching this year and been seeing people hit them balls, and they do a lot of corkscrewing through the air. If a ball is corkscrewing it's still spinning, it's still got backspin on it, but it's also corkscrewing through the air. If it's corkscrewing, that means the ball's not traveling this way, you're losing distance. Personal opinion.
Man, he just hit you with some science, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that.
D2E Orange Psycho or this year's Green Psycho? I personally would choose I personally would choose the D2E Psycho.
I can't wait to see you pop yourself in the mouth in this end of the
video.
video.
Here comes. Oh, pow. I personally would choose the D2E Psycho. A little softer feedback. That's really the only difference between the two. They're weighted the same. They definitely perform the same. Just a little softer feedback from the D2E. So there's your answer on that one. Do you think the Mike and Patriot finish helps spin a 52-275 better, or is it hype? That's a good question. That is probably one of the only bats that I feel has benefited from.
How many bats have you swung with a finish on them though? Like a finish that's supposed to help.
Combat has did a couple.
Okay.
The Boomba Dooley is another one.
Did the Leaf have it? The Leaf, whatever it was. Okay.
I feel like there's one more, but I can't think of what it is. But I feel like that's the only one that it actually did make a difference. You go back and watch the video, hitting that bat that night, man, it seemed like balls just hung in the air forever, whether it was a 52, a 44, whatever else. Don't know what they did different, but it works. I see somebody says that the Z4K has textured spin balls. I've swung a couple, didn't really notice it, not saying it doesn't work. And actually, that was the bat. What was it? One of them Z's had it. I didn't feel like it helped, maybe at all. Maybe it was just me. But the Patriot definitely seems to be one of the few that really got my attention as far as the spin actually working.
Be curious to see if next year's has the same finish or if they change it up at all.
Would you guys buy an Easton with a 12-inch barrel and a half-ounce end load?
Personally, no. I don't like shorter barrels.
Yeah, totally. The
SBE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the ASP SBE. I believe those might have been advertised as a full ounce. They swung light. I will say that. I love that bat. That was a pretty good bat.
That thing was a ton of fun.
Paulie sent us one at 26. It had like 6 to 8 bajillion swings on it. And holy smokes.
Yeah.
That thing was good.
What combat would you grab for ASA? If feasible, find a Derby Boys. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Especially orange in color.
As far as if you're talking about stuff that's currently for sale right now that you can find and not an orange Derby Boys, go with one of the B hoses. I mean, they're all good. You could even go the dual stamp route. We talked about it earlier. You got, Logan Ball's in here. He's going to drop something good in there. You got the Duke. You got the Grinder. And then, you have your Derby Boys from last year. You've got a lot of options there. It's really hard to go wrong with any of them. Do you use 44 core balls to break in bats meant for 52 core balls? No, I do not. I use the Evil BP Rocket. High core, also high compression. The high core will give more rebound, so the ball spends less time on the bat. You know, inflict less damage, and it is also lighter than a normal softball. So, you know, it's going to come off quicker, spend less time on the bat, be able to break it in, because the 52 core ball will take years to break in a bat. So as far as something like that goes, I suggest an Evil BP Rocket. Do I think Greinert takes sauce? Yeah, I think he's like sauce on his wings. What's a newer bat with a large sweet spot? Plus good for distance. Distance, yeah. Buy a DC-41, 14-inch barrel. Close your eyes and swing, you'll find it. Got a good aim load, be able to get them balls out there. Like Charlie Mitchell needs help hitting the ball far.
Right.
Do you feel having a brand new bat roll is cheating? Before you smoke me, I know what the rule book says, just curious on your opinion.
You're altering a bat to a degree.
But you're not altering it more than what batting practice would have did to it.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to smoke you. I'm not going to roast you. I'm just going to tell you, I don't like it. I don't do it. Not my thing. I mean, especially when it comes to is how hot bats are out of the wrapper these days. If you can't take the time to put 200 swings on something, buy it used. But no, I mean, rolling a bat just breaks it in quicker. To me, it's wasting a bat because you can't use it. That's less swings you're going to get out of it. Triple Crown is one of the sickest bats, in my opinion. I'm going to try and snipe one of them from Plate Against Sports here pretty soon.
Are you?
Yeah.
I've only seen one person in the league swinging one.
I've seen a couple of them around. I mean, they don't seem like they're bad performers. Greg Cannell definitely hit a few dingers with it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go over to YouTube and watch Greg Cannell putting in some work with the Worth Triple Crown.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite bat that came out this year? I'm going to do, you know, I'll probably do like top three. Top three ASA and U-Trip bats. As the season winds down here, so I'm not going to answer that question yet. Stay tuned for the video. Do you think it's likely to damage or break the bat if you hit when it is snowing or really cold? I mean, yeah, it depends on what balls you're hitting, but it's not going to be good for it. Even unless you're hitting something, if 52s exclusively, chances are you're going to break your bat. It doesn't really matter what you're hitting when it's cold. The bat is cold, the balls are cold, so they're going to get really hard. Not a good situation. Buy an Easton if you want to hit in the cold. Or Sonic Plus. Seth says still swinging that Sonic Plus. I sold it to a friend, and he still lets me swing it every now and again, and it's still a bazooka.
He forgot that I was coming to league on Monday night. Mm-hmm. He was like, I totally would have brought it for you. It's all right. I ended up checking with the Freak Black. That was a ton of fun.
Difference between the ASA Aftermath and the OG Aftermath. So here's the explanation that I got as far as all this OG stuff goes. Juggy OG, Flipper OG. Basically, OG just means built to OG specs. So you recommend Evil BP Rockets to break in an ASA bat versus using a 52-300. Within reason. I mean, it's not like you can go out and buy a bunch of Evil BP Rockets and only hit them for the life of the bat. Depending on the bat, usually with DeMarinis, about 100 swings with some BP Rockets. I mean, they're hot enough as it is. About 100 swings with some BP Rockets and just shut it down. I mean, it won't need any more. You're just wasting the bat at that point. It'll be plenty hot. I like to, when it comes to stuff like that, I like to get them started. It's just a tinfoil hat theory of mine. I like to get them started with 52s, usually about 100 swings with 52s, then 100 swings with Rockets, and then strictly 52s from there on out. Unless you just don't care if you break a bat. Who would you least like to get hit
by a middle shot?
Ryan Harvey.
Greg Cannell.
Ryan Harvey, without a doubt. I can name a bunch.
Well, yeah.
Ryan Harvey's top of my list. That dude. Whoa, yeah. Do you all play mostly with 52s or 44s where you're located? Basically, everything here is 52s. The ASA league that we play in is 52s. All the tournaments we play in, we hit 52s. The one league that we hit 44s in is this fall league here in town. And No offense to the people in the league. There's a few good teams, but man, it's just like watching paint dry.
The only time that we would get a chance to swing a classic game is if there was a U-Trip tournament that rolled through.
Right. Or some kind of small podunk thing.
Right.
It's like, here, just hit your own ball and hope you don't die.
Right.
Or in the words of Brent, Jimmy's cat died. Let's have a fundraiser tournament. What is your favorite bat manufacturer and least bat manufacturer? Curious to know why. As of right now, my current one would probably be Mikan. I just cannot get enough of these psychos. And least favorite bat manufacturer, obviously Monsta, beating a dead horse there. Dave, you got anything to add there? Because I know you're about that Mikan life too.
Yeah. And then I haven't swung a ton of like Monstas the few times I have. I would say if I picked like a more popular like manufacturer, probably like Easton, just because of how long it takes to get a bat broke in.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a bat that's going to last through a nuclear holocaust. You swing it for everything.
All right.
You should do one of your bat reviews out of nowhere with Stadium 650s. Just every shot out of the park where you're at, shattering windows. So what you're saying is you want like an Anthony Kelly video.
Just missed it. 400 feet.
Yeah. Oh, just missed it. 400 feet. Line drive out of here. And you hear it ka-ching, hit the fence anyway. Pfft, what a joke. I don't know if Anthony Kelly uses home run derby balls for a fact. You know, he could say he's hitting, you know, evil BP rockets in his videos, but you never see an evil BP rocket thrown in the video. And everything he hits sounds like a freaking golf ball. Food for thought. If there was one non-softball playing pro athlete you could train to play, who would you pick? Ooh, man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So like JJ Watt.
Oh, damn it, that's what I was going to say. Okay,
Honestly, the name I was gonna say, nobody probably like would have picked.
Who?
Matthew Vincent. That guy that you got me turned on to.
Yeah, I don't know how many people follow, you know, like powerlifting or weightlifting or anything like that. I am ate up with that stuff. I powerlift in the gym every day. Follow a lot of that stuff on YouTube. Probably the one person I would pick would be Brian Shaw. He's the one that deadlifted 1,000 pounds. Man, dude is ridiculous. He's like 6'9", 400 pounds, and he's just like one big muscle.
If I'm taking an athlete from football, it's JJ Watt. If I'm taking one from basketball, I'm probably going to pick LeBron.
Oh yeah, dude's a freak.
And then if I'm taking a baseball player, I'm taking Stanton.
Matt Holliday.
Nah.
Can you imagine the backspin he could put on a ball?
Giancarlo, man.
Well, of course, John Carlo did put on a clinic at the home run derby.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see.
The rumor mill used to say that Matt Stairs, y'all remember him with the sweet mullet? Rumor mill used to say he used to play in upstate New York when he retired.
Yeah.
Man, could you imagine that?
Are you going to do videos on the new worths? As I come across them, Justin, hoping to get something worked out with a friend of mine so we can get some swings in on those. Grip and rip, taper, or stock. I personally like a thin layer of tape and a knob cuff. You'll swing just about whatever, won't you?
Whatever, yeah.
What's your go-to pitch? Chest high. Right here.
The one that goes across the plate.
Chest high, middle half of the plate.
Is he talking about like for you to hit?
Yes.
Or like, or
I would assume.
No, I think he's talking about what's your go-to pitch. Like, what are you throwing?
Knuckleball. Junk. Nothing but junk until I need a strike.
Again, same.
Does a wrap count as a sandwich? That might be tougher than does a hot dog count as a sandwich. I'm just saying. Bet you want to review the most right now. That's a good question. Whew. Really want to swing that new Psycho or the new Freak 12, Freak 30, whatever it is. Probably be what I want to swing the most right now. Co-ed tourney or men's tourney more fun? I personally like playing men's. Just, I don't know, I feel like you can be a little more aggressive in a men's tournament. I find myself in a co-ed tournament really trying to get too fancy with placing the ball because I don't want to hit at a girl. Not that, I feel like I pose a threat. But, I don't know. I find myself pulling the ball, just doing things that I normally wouldn't do. Not that, computer went dead. Not that I normally don't pull the ball, but it just kind of takes me out of my element a little bit. So I would definitely rather play a men's tournament. Damon did ask a good one that I'm going to get to, and then we're done just because that's a really good question. What's your podcast schedule look like for the winter? Probably try and do one, every month or so just to kind of see what's going on. We don't really have a schedule right now. Try to get them in about every 2 or 3 weeks.
It'd be nice if we could pick up a couple snowball tournaments just to have extra stuff to talk about. Because the problem is, my hat's shedding. The problem is when you get to doing, this stuff for the winter, there's not much softball going on. The softball season doesn't start to pick back up until March or April.
Right. See, I was trying to find something to kind of occupy that time there a little bit, or maybe just take a break.
Q&As, that'd be a good time to hustle those.
Yeah, you can do Q&As. You can do a lot of stuff. Maybe just some, stuff to go out and jack around. If there's a foot of snow on the field, maybe just go out and shoot a video anyway.
Yeah.
So, thanks for stopping in and checking this out. I'm going to talk to the camera, then I'll talk to you guys. Now, thanks for stopping in and checking this out. Subscribe button is down here. This stuff is on Facebook Live right now.
You always point at such a weird spot. It's not here. It's really closer to being there. Or there.
I just sit down here it's just a general direction.
Right. Well, no, I know that. But it bothers me because people are just subscribe down below. It's no, the subscribe button's not there. It's right over here for your browser, or it's right over here for your browser.
What if I just put it on the screen?
Oh, you could do that?
I think so.
Oh, YouTube.
Anyway, thanks for stopping in and checking this out. Subscribe. Got more stuff coming. Gonna do more podcasts. Got all kinds of bat reviews. Gonna do a little bit of vlogging. Maybe I'll do some of that this winter to fill some space.
Wrap up the game footage for the year.
Yeah, wrap up the game footage for the year. Gonna be doing some interviews too. One thing I did not mention.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
Tease it.
All right. So gonna have some pretty cool interviews coming too. Comment, whatever. See you guys.
See you guys.